I'm going to be talking about China's internet and the censorship they instill on its people. Now, because China is a communist nation, its government has a lot of control over the citizens and their lives. One part of their lives that has become increasingly more pertinent is the internet. People all across the world utilize the internet for so many parts of their daily lives. When it comes to our internet, in the United States, we have access to a multitude of data online. As long as the information we're searching for isn't criminalistic, terroristic, or legitimately harmful to a person or persons, it's pretty much fair game. However, with the internet in China, because the government has so much control, they rule what you are and are not allowed to see. They block the same information that America does, but they also disable its citizens from viewing certain news articles from around the world, politics other than its own, social networks, and potentially any website that they just don't plain agree with. Some examples of keywords that are blocked on China's internet include democracy, human rights, freedom, and genocide. You also cannot look up information on the Tiananmen Square massacre or the Chinese democracy movement in China. Clearly, the Chinese government is pretty hell-bent on making sure its people don't even think in a manner that they don't agree with. The name most commonly associated with this censorship is called the Golden Shield, or the Great Firewall, that in reference to the Great Wall of China. So, what happens when people in China attempt to search for a website that the government has blocked? Well, typically, the page just won't show up. It'll just tell you that the web page cannot be accessed. The way they do this is by preventing IP addresses from being routed through and using standard firewalls and proxy servers at their 6 internet gateways. They can also target specific websites that don't follow their views and block them. An example of a time when the Chinese government attacked a website for its information was on March 26, 2015, when China issued a distributed denial of service, or DDoS, attack on GitHub because of 2 anti-censorship projects, one of which showed information on how to view the Chinese version of the New York Times. There are multiple ways that the Chinese government blocks websites and information. The most commonly used methods include IP blocking, which denies access to a specific IP address, DNS filtering and redirection, which just won't resolve domain names or returns an incorrect IP address. There's URL filtering that scans for target keywords in the URL regardless of the domain. Packet filtering that terminates TCP packet transmissions when multiple controversial keywords are detected on the website. This type of censorship mainly affects search engines. There's connection reset, which will block attempts to a connection that is blocked by a filter for 30 minutes. And then there's SSL man-in-the-middle attacks, where someone targets an individual, exchanges information with them, and makes it seem that they are communicating privately, when, in actuality, the attacker is controlling the conversation. Now, while the government has all these intimidating methods, there are ways to bypass the Great Firewall, some of which include utilizing proxy servers outside of China, onion routing, and virtual private networks or secure shells. Overall, I feel that as Americans, we are pretty fortunate to have such an open and accessible internet at our fingertips.